Okay, so I think we are back live on YouTube, so this would be the second part. Anyway, so welcome back. So this means that if you are asking for a lead, not a sale, we want to understand that the best way to ask for a lead is not for some sort of, is not giving away a free ebook or a newsletter, but having some sort of material or template or download that implies that some sort of heavy lifting is done for them that they can get immediately. So this would be like a template. This would be like a download. This could be a cheat sheet. This could be a mind map. And ultimately, the differentiator here is that the audience, when they give you their name and email, it feels as though they've gotten immediate value, even if they do not take action on learning that thing, right? So rather than saying, enter your name and email to download my 350-page ebook on everything you need to know about Forex, it's going to be a lot more powerful if you said 5 main signals that you need to look at before making any trade. Enter your name and email to download my 5-step checklist that I will always look at before I execute any trade, right? So now it feels easy to consume. It feels like I don't have to read 350 pages, but there's just 5 things, 7 things, 15 things to check before doing something, right? So rather than saying everything you need to know about property investment, right? Download my 350-page ebook. It will be way more powerful to say, right, my 17-point checklist on how to invest like a pro, right? Make sure you have at least 10 of these things before buying your next property. So that way, it feels like there's not a whole bunch of learning, like it's going back to school, but rather this template, this file, this blueprint, this script that they can model or copy or swipe and deploy or fill in the blanks, okay, which by the way should be words you should be writing down if you want to create compelling copy. Right? So rather than saying, enter your name and email to download my ebook on everything you need to know about email marketing, a much more powerful angle would be coming from the angle of, enter your name and email to download my top 100 email titles of 2019 so that with the highest open rates, so that you can copy them, model them, and deploy them immediately, right? Wouldn't you agree that that's way better than a 350-page ebook to learn everything you need to know about email marketing? Nobody wants that. Nobody's got time for that, right? What people want is, these are the top 100 email titles with the highest open rates. Go copy whichever one, swipe whichever one that you like, and utilize it immediately. So what makes a good lead gen? And that's the reason why you haven't got any leads, Judith, is because our lead gen mechanism needs to be able to give our audience that experience where it's not going to be painful learning it, but rather something that they get instant value just because they gave you their name and email. This resource, this cheat sheet, this action plan, this template, this blueprint, this mind map. Okay, so that is why lead gen ads sending people to a funnel will always outperform a Facebook lead. A Facebook lead will usually have a much lower cost, but in most cases, when it comes to converting them to a sale, it will not outperform a lead that you generate yourself. Okay. Judith, I want to be able to look at your thing, but I have a lot of questions here, and I think that this would probably give you some clarity on how to move forward. So
yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Judith.
Thank you.
So Next question would be, next question. And if you have a, okay, so I see the virtual hand raises them. Okay, next question is from Victor Ng. Victor, my team's going to unmute you right now. Go ahead and let us and share with us what your question is.
Hi, Peng Joon. Okay, my name is Victor. I have a product. I'm a musician. So
on what to upsell, okay, is always this, okay? So understand what Victor wants to accomplish. What he's going to do is, so based on what we've covered so far, create content. So this could be cover videos on YouTube, right? What people are searching for, okay? They end up on this page. He gives away this free thing, okay? And then after that, the question is, so what next? If I get the lead, what's the upsell? What's a good close? What's the next product? Okay? And to answer this question, to help all of you here, here's what makes a good upsell. Okay? Please write this down. Okay? All of you. A good upsell is the new problem that they will face as a direct result of you helping them with the old problem. Okay, let me say that again. If you always wanted to think about what makes a good upsell and what to offer your audience, you got to ask yourself, okay, so the old problem that I just helped them with, what is the new problem that they will face as a direct result of me helping them with that old problem? Right? So, going back to Victor's example, okay, Victor, what do you think if somebody opted in and they got this card sheet, okay? What do you think might be the new problem that they would face? And I think that my team needs to unmute Victor again.
I think this still requires a little bit of practice on their side. So maybe the accountability side, it will come into play. Yeah, so maybe a community that holds them accountable to maybe come up with a schedule of practice or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we want to think about, okay, so if they had this thing, then why don't they just go do it and execute it and be good, right? Because there's always something that is missing in the equation, and that's why your audience is not going from point A to point B. Maybe they don't know what to do, maybe it's accountability, maybe it's not fun, maybe they get excited, but after 1 week they fall back to their old habits. Maybe it's because of their environment, maybe they miss a specific connection, maybe it's the network, right? But whatever it is, and when I say this, I'm talking to all of you, right? You want to think about, after you offered them this free product or paid product, there's always a new problem that would arise. And the new problem that would arise would be your upsell. Because that's how you help them get to the next level. Right? Let me give you a few different examples so that I can show you how you can help them solve that next problem. Okay? So, really quick, on YouTube in the chat, let me know an offer, whether it's free or paid, that you either want to have or you currently have right now, and I'll show you different ways to create this offer and this upsell utilizing this framework that I'm utilizing with Victor. Okay, so really quick, inside YouTube right now, let me know of a product. Okay, what product, what niche, what's that current offer, and I'll show you how to think about what is that upsell that you should have. Okay, so tell me what niche you're in, what is that product. So for example, it would be like cooking, home study course, or Facebook ads, ebook. And then I'll show you like how do you create that next thing. Okay, so okay, let me just write down a few different examples again. Okay, so Agile Investors says cake decorating, finance, spirituality, affiliate marketing, right? Facebook ads, right? Money management, right? LinkedIn profile management. I love that. Right? Done for music, done for you funnels, okay? Insurance, okay? Debt restructuring. Okay, good. I think we have more than enough to go with. Okay, so now understand that these offers could be free. It could be a free offer where they just opted in, or it could be a paid offer. It could be $50, $100, $2,000, whatever it is. We want to ask ourselves now that we just gave them this resource, now that we just helped them with this solution to a problem, what is missing in the equation, and what is the next problem that they will face as a direct result of us giving them this solution to this initial problem. Okay? So for example, let's say LinkedIn profile management. Okay? So let's say it was initially a free offer, and the free offer was my 7-step template on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to make you look like a real professional. Okay? Enter your name and email to download this 7-step checklist. So they enter the 7-step checklist, and then on the next page, okay, now that they just download this template, can you imagine if straight away they receive a video? It could be image, it could be a sales video, it could be a sales letter. Now what would this video say? It would be a simple video of me recording, talking in front of the camera. Now what would it say? It would say, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and first of all, congratulations for downloading this template on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. I know that you're going to absolutely love it. You're going to receive it in about 5 minutes from now. But before you go check it out, I wanted to share with you a very common issue that people will usually face when it comes to optimizing their LinkedIn profile. Now, once you utilize my checklist to optimize your profile, you're going to notice that now your profile is going to look a lot more attractive, and now people will want to actually hook up with you, talk to you, connect with you on LinkedIn. The question is, what actually happens after that? Once you have a profile that's optimized, how are you actually utilizing that profile to get more leads and close clients? How can you utilize that optimized profile to secure more connections and deals? Now this is what this next step is all about. Now that you've understood how to, or you're about to understand how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, I want to be able to share with you how do you actually now turn these people into leads and eventually sales. I'm talking about my LinkedIn closing mastery, where I will show you, now that you have optimized your page, how do you now get people to become leads or partners so that you can eventually close them to want to work with you. That is what this page is all about. Okay? So now it makes sense, because I am coming back to this flow. I'm taking this person who just opted in for my free offer or my paid offer. Okay, free or paid, doesn't matter. But I understand and I anticipate that the next problem that they face is with an optimized LinkedIn profile, they probably do not know how to close more sales or get more leads. Therefore, that is my offer, right? If let's say it's on cake decorating, okay? Somebody said cake decorating or cake. So can you imagine if I said somebody that is, so let's say I opted, so let's say it was a free offer, right? Enter your name and email to download these 15 cake recipes, okay? So I want to ask myself, okay, with these 15 cake recipes, what is the next problem that they will face? The next problem that they'll face, chances are, if they know how to decorate these cakes, now they would need to have the right ingredients or the tools in the kitchen in order to decorate this cake, right? So if that's the problem, I can now sell my own equipment or some sort of equipment from Amazon as an affiliate. Now, how would that look like? So, coming back to this funnel, they opted in for this free offer on 15 tips, 15 recipes for cake decorating. So what is the next thing that I would sell them? The next thing that I would sell them would be a video. Again, they receive a video, something that looks like this, that says, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and the recipes, the 15 recipes that you just opted in for, is on its way to your inbox. And before you take a look at these recipes, okay, you're going to absolutely love these recipes, but one of the things I want to be able to share with you is these very, very common tools that is utilized in cake decorating. Okay, so as you can see here, I am in my kitchen with these beautiful cakes, and one of the most commonly used things in cake decorating is actually this tool over here. So let me show you how it works. When you receive these recipes, you're going to realize that a very common tool in cake decorating is actually this equipment that allows you to kind of like, scribble and write words to make your cake customized with the writing that you want, right? And the way we do that is utilizing this equipment called whatever it's called, right? And this is just one of the many different equipments that you probably need if you want to take your cake decorating skills to a whole new level. Now, one of the things that I did is right below this video, I actually showed you, or whatever, this could be your own equipment. If it's your own equipment, it would be. And if you like to get the entire package of all of my cake decorating equipment that I use to decorate cakes, all you need to do is upgrade your order by clicking on this link below that says add to cart. Or if you want to sell somebody else's product, what you would say is, so right below this video, if you want to be able to get all these different equipments that I personally use for cake decorating, then all you gotta do is order it directly from Amazon. I've inserted the links here below so that you can go check out. And now this is how you're sending people to a third-party platform as an affiliate that genuinely adds value because it is congruent with the process that they're going through, right? Because obviously if a person understands how to decorate cake, the next problem that they'll face is, okay, but how do I got the recipes now, but how do I decorate? I don't have the equipment, I don't have the ingredients, right? So same thing with music, right? So back to the original question from Victor, right? Same thing with finance, spirituality, right? Facebook ads. We need to ask ourselves, what is the next problem? Okay, so let's say if it's music, so we talk about, okay, now that you've downloaded these chords, so what should you do? Right? Probably they need accountability. They might want somebody that gives them real-time coaching, feedback, because that might be one of the fastest ways to learn. Okay? It could be learning a specific technique, so it could be a home study course, right? But the way to make it congruent is by weaving in the message of the next problem that they'll face. So now it's not salesy. In fact, if anything at all, you are educating them to anticipate the next problem that they'll face. Right? So if let's say you want to sell a done-for-you service as an agency, okay? You have some sort of consulting to work with you, your company. So how do you do that? And if let's say if it's running Facebook ads, or copywriting, or funnels, whatever it might be, okay? So let's say they opted in, same thing here, they opted in for some, free Facebook ad template. Enter your name and email to download my ultimate Facebook ad template so that you create ads that isn't dry, boring, or cheesy, right? Enter your name and email below to download my ultimate Facebook ad template. So they enter your name and email, they opted in for this free offer. On the next page, what do they see? Hey, this is Peng Joon here, and first of all, thank you for opting in for this template. This template is going to be sent to you in a while. Now, one of the things about this template, and you actually print it out, is that you're going to realize that there are 9 things that you need to be doing in order to create a profitable Facebook ad. And you're going to love this template that you just downloaded. And what I want to be able to share with you is this. With this template, this is basically going to give you the roadmap and the keys to a supercar. But here's the problem. There's a lot of people out there that have supercars but don't really know how to drive. They're not equipped with the knowledge and the skill set to drive a supercar. And what I just did is I just gave you the keys to a supercar. And what I want to be able to share with you next is how to drive that supercar. And this is what this page is all about. You see, when it comes to running an ad, there's a few different elements that you need to take into account. Yes, writing the ad is one, but a much deeper process is how do you build up this audience? The targeting, the retargeting, the languaging in your ads. Right? How do you actually make a Facebook ad campaign profitable? When should you scale? Now this is what this page is all about. I want to be able to share with you how do you actually be equipped with the skill set to drive this supercar so that you can take this to a whole new level. So this is where I would like to invite you to work together with my company, right? If you're selling a done for you, or if you're selling a course or training, a live event, a workshop, that's when you could say. That's where I would like to invite you to join my workshop, my training, my webinar, my home study course, where I will show you how do you actually get your targeting right, your messaging, right? Or if it's to a $5,000 per month offer where they work with you and your company, that's when you could say, what if we were to do all of the heavy lifting for you? And this is not for everybody, but I would love to be able to get on a call with you or somebody from my team so they can see if you're a right fit for each other, right? And all you got to do is click on this link below to schedule a call with somebody from my team, right? Whatever your sales process might be. But you notice what I'm doing right now? I am, again, taking this journey and just relating it to the next thing that they're going to face. So this is when the conversion is going to be a whole lot higher because there is the right message to market match. Okay? Raise your hand if this makes sense. Okay? Thank you. Okay, Victor, make sense? Yeah? Okay. Okay, good. So before I answer the next question, and yes, for those of you on YouTube, this is live, and so here's what I'd like you guys to do real quick. Take 30 seconds reflection exercise based on this session. Our YouTube video initially disconnected. This is part 2. Okay. Let me know in the chat what is your biggest takeaway right up to this point that you find is applicable to you, that you feel will make all the difference for you if implemented. Okay. So if you want your question answered, you need to be on Zoom. You need to have your, you need to do a virtual hand raise so that my team can see you. And can I have my team just open up so that I can see who's next in line? Okay, next question is from, I can see Jason Chi is here. Okay, Jason, 1 second before I take on your question. Let me just take a look at what some of you are saying on YouTube. Okay, Aman says lead magnet strategy. Yi says upsell tactics. Priyan says I created a business to connect the failed musicians to customers. Okay. Chat's moving really fast, so I have a hard time keeping up with the thing. Okay, good. The next steps. Okay, so good. Jason, go ahead. What is your question?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, good evening, Peng Joon.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So actually, my idea. Okay, first I'm in the fitness industry, so my idea is to actually create a video of like debunking some myths. Say maybe like 5 myths that you shouldn't do, and then after that, bring them to the click funnel. So my funnel will be actually a challenge. So basically, I'll be sending them a program that they can do at home or at the gym. And then there will be like maybe 30 to 60 days kind of challenge. and then my upsell will be an online training. Then another upsell will be a really like a personalized one-to-one face-to-face training. So my question is that for my challenge, should I actually charge them a nominal fee, or should it just be free? Because I mean, sometimes people might think that if it's free, then it's cheap and useless, or not effective, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that would be my question. Thanks.
Okay, great. So the question is, should I charge for something or should it be free, especially when it comes to a challenge? Okay, the first thing I want to mention is this, okay? Well, like all of you write this down. I learned this from Sun, and he said, I'm not sure if it originated from him, but that's who I heard it from. And he said, those who pay attention, okay? And I know that for me personally, that has made a huge difference for me, because it's the truth. It's just human nature, right? If you take a look at all the information out there, it's on YouTube, it's all there. So why don't people just take all the free information and go be successful? It is because they didn't have skin in the game. They didn't pay for it. Because if you think about courses as well, I mean, let's face it, let's get real here, okay? Every single course, whatever it might be, okay, I can guarantee you there's some pirated version of that course somewhere on some torrent stream, right? Think about that. Whether it's on affiliate marketing, whether it's on starting a business, whether it's public speaking, whether it's on anything really. So the question is, why don't people just be successful? It is because for most people, if there's no skin in the game, they're not paying attention. So come from the angle of you are actually doing them a service because now they have skin in the game. You could have a free 60-day challenge and you could make it the best challenge ever, but you know what? Because it's free, they might not even log in to begin with. Why? Because now it's just like another free YouTube video series. What's the difference? There's no difference, right? However, if there's some sort of skin in the game, because they invested, their mindset and their mentality is going to be there. If they put in some sort of fee, no matter how nominal, even if it's $1, $7, $17, the mindset is now, I paid for this, and therefore I'm going to pay some attention to this. That's what it is. Okay? So to answer your question, your first question, which is, should I charge? Absolutely. All of you, if you want people to take action on what it is that you do, you have to charge something, because those who pay attention. That's number one. The second thing that you mentioned that caught my attention is you said, I want it to be like 30 to 60 days. Now, for me, challenges shouldn't be long because, and I dare say this, most people are dabblers. Most people in the world are shiny object seekers and they love to start. But the truth is, very few people actually finish. And what you want to do is you want to set them up to win. How do you set them up to win? By making it sure that it's still a stretch, it's something that's outside of your comfort zone, but 60 days itself is a huge commitment. Most people will never be able to finish it. So what you want to do is give them the win. To me, for a challenge, 30 days for online is max. Okay. For fitness, I know that I personally have paid for like a 90-day challenge 10 years ago. It made a huge difference for me. But most people will never complete a 60, 90-day challenge. Okay, and I want to talk about the majority here. So charge something with a nominal fee so that they have skin in the game, but make it so that at the end of the challenge, there's always that next step. Okay, so like you said, after 30 days, what's next? And that could be that upsell for you. Does that make sense, Jason? Is there a question? Is there another question after that?
Actually, that is the main question, but if you want to add on, please do.
Oh, okay. So ultimately it comes down to this, okay? If you truly want to help your audience, I know that there's a lot of people that feel bad for charging for stuff. Okay? But the mindset I would like all of you to adopt is understand your audience, they're spending money somewhere. And if you know that your product, your program, your service is good, then ultimately you are doing them a disservice if you don't know how to brand, package, sell, and market that thing to them. So, charge what you're worth and make sure that they have skin in the game, because if they have no skin in the game, they're not taking action. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as that. Okay, thanks, Jason. Next question. Okay, let's take a look at the chat. Virtual hand raise. Deanne Law. Deanne. Okay.
Hi, Peng Joon.
Hi.
All right, okay. I like to model after Jordan Yo because I've been through his funnel and things like that. I find that it's the easiest for me to duplicate to my program. So I like to know which funnel he used.
Okay, so first things first, okay? I'm not a walking encyclopedia. Everybody is constantly... And this is something that I want to mention, right? Guys, when it comes to your marketplace, there should be nobody else that should know your market better than you, right? I'm not in the fitness niche or bodybuilding for men and women. So when you say like what funnel, take a look at the funnel, because I could give you the short answer here, but nothing's gonna beat you going through his funnel, watching the entire sales video, buying the upsells, looking at how the upsells are positioned, looking at the members area, if there's recurring, what the price points are. And that's what all of you need to be doing if you want to be at the top of your game. Okay, you guys need to know this so well in terms of who's in your space, who's crushing it, what are they doing on social media, how often are they posting, what does their backend look like, what does their upsells look like, what does their offer look like? Because nobody else should rather know your market better than you. So what is Jordan doing? Yeah, he's doing, he's got a sales video, sales letter, he's got recurring on a back end. And I could say all these different things, but nothing is going to beat you actually going through that sales process and buying the product and going through the program yourself. Okay? So always learn through modeling. I'm always looking at the people that is crushing it, and I'm reverse engineering what it is that they're doing. Okay, and that should be a practice that all of you should be constantly doing the entire time. Okay, make sense, Dan?
Okay, I hope, because I'm like information overload because you over-delivered. I've been studying since a virtual game changer, and I think I'm kind of stuck because of too much information. So yeah.
Okay, great. So for those of you that feel that you are stuck because there's too much information, here's how you get around information overload. Okay, today people, they say that we are living in the information age, and the truth is we're getting too much information. And what will help us get to the next level now is no longer information, but the insight on what is the next thing that needs to be done. So what all of you need to be doing, okay, is to think about how can you chunk it down into small bite-sized steps so that you'll know by the end of today, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, what needs to happen so that it pushes you to that next step. So the way to think about this is, think of it as running a long marathon, 42 km. If I were to ask all of you to run a full marathon tomorrow, chances are Most people can't do it. So the question is, how do we train for this marathon that's about to happen? It is by chunking it down so that we can say, okay, you know what, by today, I'm going to start off by running 1 km. So I want to ask all of you should have clarity on what is that 1 km for you. You need to have, please write down the word specifics. If you feel information overload and overwhelmed, it is because you didn't chunk it down. You didn't chunk it down into small bite-sized pieces that allow you to celebrate that milestone when you hit it. Do you have these milestones mapped out? Just like how I want to be able to run 1 km by the end of today, right? That's what it needs to be, right? And when that happens, how can you make it so that by next Wednesday, I'm going to run 3 km. The following Monday, I'm going to add in some hill training so that I can train and condition my body to run uphill, right? If you think about the world of business, it's the same thing. How can we map out and chunk it down to these small bite-sized milestones? Because accumulation, a large victory is just accumulation of many small victories along the way. Why is it that most people never achieve that big victory? It is because that big victory is scary. It's intimidating. It's like saying, I want to build $1 million company. Of course, that's a scary goal, and that's when people will laugh at you for saying it. And that's when you might not even believe that own victory that's possible because it's too far. So what you need to do, you need to chunk it down and say, okay, if that's the big goal that I want to be able to accomplish 1 year, 3 years, 10 years from now, how can I chunk it down and what needs to happen in the next 12 months? Okay, if that's the 12-month goal, how do I chunk it down in 3 months? Okay, if that's a 3-month goal, how can I chunk it down to 1 month? Okay, if that's a 1-month goal, what needs to happen by this week? What needs to happen by today? And when you are able to chunk it down and now celebrate the small bite-sized pieces and have the insight on what needs to happen next, that is what God is going to give you belief that it's possible. So for you, Diane, it might be, okay, if let's say I want to build this fitness funnel, okay, have specifics by when. Okay, maybe it's in 30 days from now. Okay, if that's the goal, 30 days from now, then what needs to happen 2 weeks from now? Okay, 2 weeks from now, my funnel needs to be up. I need to be able to accept payments. Okay, great. So if that's the goal, then what needs to happen 7 days from now? Well, 7 days from now, my graphics needs to be done, and I'll need to have the words written. Okay, great. And if that's the goal 7 days from now, what needs to happen today? Well, today, then I need to have clarity on exactly what my offer is, what my price point is, by looking at perhaps who are the top 5 people that's crushing it in this space. Okay, so now I'm mapping out all of my bite-sized goals that will enable me to have insight on the next step that I need to be doing that will push me one step closer to my goal. And before I move on to the next question, okay, and this is something that I shared with my coaching students yesterday. I said this, okay, the way to think about this entire game, because that's what this is. Entrepreneurship, business is a game. Now, this game, just like a computer game, is those type of computer games where you cannot win this game. There's always that next level. Just like in business and entrepreneurship. There's no such thing, there's no finish line. There's always that next level. There's always the next boss. There's no such thing in business that says, if you did this, congratulations, you win. You make your first million, there's your second million. You make your second million, there's 10 million. You make 10 million, there's 25 million. Right? There's always that next boss, that next level, the next thing to accomplish. And success and significance is a beast that you cannot fulfill its hunger. There'll always be that next level, even though you think there's a finish line. And I can guarantee you, when you reach that finish line and get that goal, whether it's the house, the car, there will always be the next goal. It's this illusion of accomplishment. And because this game you cannot win, it's a game, however, you can lose. And you lose when you give up and you quit. This computer game, it has got unlimited players. It has got billions of people playing this game. And if you can adopt this mindset that it's this computer game that I'm playing, and there's no finish line. There's no end game. There's no destination. And you can't win. But you can only lose. And you lose when you drop out and when you quit. When you quit on your dreams, your goals, and your ambition. And I can tell you that there's a lot of people who's playing this game, and you know where they're at? They're at the starting line. They're at the starting line of the race, of this game, and they've been at the starting line for the last year, last 3 years, last 10 years. Why? Because they're standing at the starting line and they're analyzing the entire race. They're looking at people around them. They're trying to figure out and ponder and strategize on how to win this race without taking that first step first to begin. Come from the angle of mapping it all out. You can't map it all out if you're trying to map it all out. But if you can chunk it down so that it's in small bite-sized pieces where you can celebrate the victories, that is what's going to push you forward to that next step. And when you reach that next step, guess what? You now are a little bit more motivated and inspired because you have something to celebrate. Find that joy along the way in celebrating these wins, in understanding that you can never actually win the game. You can just play it the best way you know how, and the only way you can lose is if you stop or if you quit the race. And that's it. And if all of you can adopt this mindset, this journey, you realize that it becomes a lot more fun and exciting, because we'll realize that it's a journey where we can be satisfied knowing that we will never be satisfied. I can tell you right now, when you play this game, you'll never be satisfied. There'll always be the next accomplishment, the next revenue goal, the next object, the next thing you want to buy, the next title, the next income level that you want to accomplish. And that's okay. But you can be satisfied knowing that you will never be satisfied. And if you play that game that way, you will have a very different approach to playing this game, where you'll find ways to enjoy the journey rather than just looking at the destination and never begin because the destination is too scary. Does that answer your question, Diane? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so before we move on to the next question, okay, let me know in the chat your biggest takeaway from this. Okay, talk to me, guys. On YouTube, what is your biggest takeaway? Agile Investor says, begin with the end in mind. Enjoy the process, says the boss mom. Don't be stressed out or if you fail. Okay. Ben says, being grateful, the mindset is important. Okay, good. Joanna Liu says, chunk it down to bite-sized pieces. Okay. Priyan says, never quit. There's no finish line. Peter says, comparison and jealousy can be a killer of happiness. Business is an endless game. Christine says, always be on the next level. Okay. Okay. HK says, take action even if it means baby steps. Daniel says, business is a game, keep improving. Enjoy the process, says Yi. Okay. Learn from failure. Take action. Okay, good. Let's take a look at the next question. Appreciate you, Peter. Okay. Next one would be from Aslam. Aslam Ilman.
Jen,
Hi.
should move on to my question, right? Well, I've been trying to ask you questions for quite some time actually, but now when I'm given this chance, I think I'll forget my question. Wait,
So,
let
do you
me
have a
look at-
question?
Sorry?
Do you have a question now? Or is your mind blank?
Well, sorry, this is just like a random question now. Okay, what about this question where I think there's a sort of a trend where people hate upsell in the market? I mean, because with funneling, we can't avoid upsell, right? And I think there's a successful way to convert into higher value sales and all that. But I can be, it seems that I notice there's a lot of trends where people hate upsells. So,
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me answer this question about what Aslam mentioned here, and I love this question because this is a very common block that makes a person sell well or market well because of this belief, which is what Aslam said here, right? Which is people hate upsell. Now, the question I'd like you to think about is this a fact or is this an opinion? This is the first thing we got to understand, okay? Right? Because when we make a blanket statement that says, oh, people hate upsell, really, does it mean if we all went to KFC and we ordered our dinner plate, and if this person said, would you like to have Coke with this chicken? We're going to slam the table and say, how dare you offer me this Coke because I only asked for the chicken? Does it mean that if we were to go to McDonald's in our drive-thru and we said, I would like to have a 6-piece nugget, and this person said, would you like to go large? And then we looked at, well, not the person, but the little radio thing there, and he said, hey, are you stupid or what? I said the chicken nugget, not the set, right? First of all, I'm just doing this for entertainment value, but we got to understand that when we make blanket statements about our audiences, that actually hurts us because it's a reflection of our opinion being projected on others. Are there people who absolutely hate upsells? Of course, right? To most people, well, not most people, to a lot of people, when they are sold something unethically, where it's pushy, where it's salesy, where it's manipulative, nobody likes that, right? But what if an upsell was congruent based on the process, right? Just think about that for a second. Do you think that when a person goes on Amazon and they buy this camera, and then Amazon has an upsell that says, people who bought this camera also bought an SD card, also bought this lighting, also bought this lens. Do you think a person will say, oh, I hate Amazon. How dare Amazon recommend me and upsell me this SD card even though I was just buying a camera? Right? Why don't people feel pissed off at Amazon for recommending an SD card when they buy a camera? Why won't they get angry at the upsell? Are there people who get angry because they... Perhaps. But odds are low. Why? Because the upsell is congruent with the sales process. And this is a distinction that all of us needs to understand. When we say, oh, people don't like upsells, we need to be clear about what that means. People don't like upsells only when it's not congruent. If you ever went bungee jumping or going on those crazy roller coaster rides, a very common upsell would be to have a GoPro attached so that you can take a video of you doing that bungee jumping. Now, do you think complaints would be high when they have this upsell. When a person is signing up for bungee jumping and this person says, would you like this experience recorded where we give you this recording of bungee jumping? Do you foresee a customer saying, how dare you record me doing this bungee jumping? I didn't sign up for a video recording, I signed up. No, right? Because the upsell is congruent with the sales process. So never judge your audience by making dangerous blanket statements like, oh, people normally don't like upsells. They will not like upsells if your pitch or your presentation is not congruent with the experience. But if your upsell can genuinely help them in doing what? In getting more results, accelerated half the time, where it helps them save money, have more time, eliminate distraction, become more productive, become more effective, more confident. That's when people will want to give you money, right? Why do people give anyone money? People give anyone money because they believe that the value that they're going to get in return is more than the money that they're giving you. And that's what an upsell is. So if you can have an offer that's part of your upsell that is congruent with your sales process, that is when you'll minimize complaints and negative feedback. With one final disclaimer, okay? Understand that, of course, when it comes to ads and social media and Facebook and YouTube, will there be people who are turned off because you made an offer? Oh, 100%, right? Are there people who leave me hate comments on Facebook every day, right? Because I made an offer, because the ad sells something. So at the same time, it's also important to distinguish and understand that when there's no context, when people see an ad, there's a lot of people out there who will be turned off because there's something for sale. And that's just the way it is. But you can decrease that when your upsell and your offer is in line with your sales process. Okay? Aslam, does that make sense? Wait, my team is going to unmute you right now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah?
Peng Joon, if you don't mind, okay, now I remember my original question. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
Okay. You said learning from, it's best to learn to model from the best, right? So for example, even yourself, when you are promoting something, you are using different videos, right? For example, one video is sharing 5 ways to create da. And then another video you do is 5 ways to tackle another 3 secrets, something like that. But for the same product. And I noticed some other marketers are doing the same as well. So my question is that really the strategy, the right strategy? I mean, so should I always make a lot of videos but tackling different points to lead for the same funnel?
Great question. Okay, so understand that when you want to send people to a specific sales process, different people are drawn by different things, different angles, different hooks, different messaging, right? Some people are drawn because it's funny. Some people are drawn because it's polarizing. Some people are drawn because there's high emotion. Some people are drawn because it's educational. Some people are drawn for different angles, messaging, and hooks, right? A person who's a professional, a certain profession, might like a certain angle more than another profession, right? A specific demographics might like a specific angle more. So that the reason why we have all these different angles and hooks is because we understand that if we want to send people to a specific funnel or sales process, we understand that we need to come from different angles and hooks because different people resonate with different things. So let's say my funnel is on teaching people, let's say, whatever, public speaking, right? One angle would be, perhaps how to be a great speaker even if you are introverted. right? So now introverts will be like, oh man, I want to listen to what this guy has to say because I'm an introvert. But extroverts at the same time, when they watch this video, they might not even want to click the video because they'll say, oh, that's not for me, right? So, but I'm not going to stop there. I want to hit different angles so that my message would attract different market segments. I want to target the introverts, the extroverts, the people in network marketing, the people in real estate, the people who are working from home or want to work from home, the people who are forex traders. So now I've got different angles, different hooks, people who want to, who's a stay-at-home mom, right? People who maybe is a burnt-out professional, whatever it might be. So I'm always thinking about the different angles to speak to these different segments to get people into my sales process, into my funnel, into my webinar, into my application. Okay, and that's why we're constantly utilizing different angles to attract different market segments. Does that make sense, Aslam? Right? And that's what you guys all need to be doing as well. Okay, all of you need to be thinking about what are these different segments that I'm speaking to. Okay. Guys, talk to me on YouTube. Let me know based on these different things that Aslam brought up with regards to the upsell, with regards to the psychology about making an offer. Let me know how this is applicable to you and what you have learned from this. SLR971 says, how much do you spend on retargeting? You spend as much as you can on retargeting as long as your cost to acquire a customer is less than how much a customer is worth. Okay? How much do you budget on Facebook ads? You don't put a budget on Facebook ads. That's for people who don't understand the game. As long as your cost to acquire a customer is less than how much a customer is worth to you upfront, you're just going to spend as much as you can. So that's how much you spend on retargeting. Okay. Benson says, try different angles and hooks in your ads, one lead magnet. Sakuntala says, people dislike upsells only when it's not congruent. Right, 100%. Reshan says, how should I approach the travel and accommodation industry as a marketing agency? Okay, so in whatever market that you're in, okay, and this goes for all of you, right? You always just begin by understanding what is the problem that they face and what's the solution that I can give to my audience that helps them with this problem. And then the thing that I want to promote, how will it help them save money, plan their trips better, avoid getting scammed, get better rates? And if that is the outcome, how can you create content around it so that they would find you and your content, so that when you give the solution, it becomes the logical thing to do when they want to work with you. That's pretty much it, right? So let's say, now I don't know your business model, so let's say your business model is to promote to TripAdvisor and Agoda as an affiliate and earn affiliate commissions, right? So if that's your goal, then you got to ask yourself, okay, so here's how we're going to do it, okay? Guys, remember, this is, okay, so Reshan, this question from Reshan, okay? So let's say I'm like Reshan and I am in travel. And I want to make money promoting a travel agency or Agoda or TripAdvisor, right, as an affiliate, where they will pay me money whenever I send people over. Now, I know that the borders are closed, but when it opens up, right? So then I gotta ask myself, okay, if this is the end goal for my monetization method, what needs to happen before? So same thing here, right? So am I gonna help my people plan their trips better? Top places to visit? Am I gonna talk about how they can save money on flights or get even free flights based on which credit card to go with so that they can get enough points and redeem these flights, right? How to avoid getting scammed from these common tourist traps? Can I create top 10 places to visit in location name so that if a person is looking for that, places to eat, right? So how can I create content that is based on search or based on ads, right, on interruption, so that they will find me and my video and my content or my Instagram or my ad, where my content at the end of it all, the call to action would be to send them to the thing that I want to promote, which could be my own product, a service as a travel agency, or to a third party as an affiliate in order to monetize. So if you notice this pattern here that is happening consistently, regardless of what market you're in, you're going to see that this is applicable for all niches. Okay? I'm not sure if there's any other questions. I want to give priority for people that's on Zoom. Can I just quickly take a look at the participants in Zoom? Is there any questions in here? That would be Laurelier. I hope I said your name right. Laurelier. Go ahead, ask a question, and then I'll deal with some of the questions that's on YouTube as well.
Thanks, Peng. I just wanted to clarify, if you say created a video for, say, the Facebook generation, lead generation, could it be possible that it goes viral and then you have to like pay all this money even though you didn't actually have anything to sell at that point?
I want to clarify on this question. So what do you mean by, so it went viral organically? Is that right?
Yeah, so I guess what I gathered was you're paying per views, how many people kind of click on it and watch it. So could it be that so many people watch it in a space of time and then you're having to pay a lot of money to Facebook?
So it comes back down to, again, how much you're paying in order to acquire a customer, right? So unless you went to sleep and you set your budget for that day for $5,000, $10,000 and you woke up to a fat bill only to realize you made no sales, then that would be on you, right? But in most cases, you would start off with a small budget to see, by spending that amount, how many sales can you get in order to determine the cost to acquire a customer. So you always start off by putting in a small budget so that you can determine what is the cost to acquire a customer. If the video is highly engaging, if it's shareable, people are sharing on your feed, they're tagging their friends, then good. That will decrease your cost of a view. That will and in turn decrease the cost to acquire a customer, and in turn decrease the cost of acquiring a sale. But it's not like we're running the ad by spending straight away $10,000 a day on day one. You start off with a small budget and then you start scaling up. So that will avoid that issue from ever happening.
Beforehand, you pay before, not after.
Yeah, so start off with a small budget and then scale your way up.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next question is from, I think there's no other questions on Zoom. So, okay, let's take a look at some of the questions that, if you guys on Zoom do not have any other questions, then I'll take the questions on YouTube. There's a lot of you putting up the same question. Okay, so Leslie says, what is the best strategy to bring traffic in when you just started online? One way, okay? Well, two ways. Number one, I would say, is to decide. Decide that you are going to play the long game, because traffic generation, if you want to do it the free way, is a marathon, not a sprint. If you take a look at every single person that is reaping and enjoying the rewards of getting free traffic today, it was because at one point in time they made a decision that they're going to play this game, this marathon, and be committed to that journey, despite how they feel, despite how busy they are, despite the trolls, despite the haters, despite their self-limiting beliefs, despite not liking their sound, their own voice, despite all of their excuses, and they decided to rise above and to be bigger than all of these excuses. So how do you start? You start by deciding. By deciding that says, you know what? From this point forth, even though I don't like my own face, even though I don't like my own voice, even though I don't really know what to say, I'm going to start off by creating content on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whichever platform that you like. Even though you have no followers, even though you're only getting 2 likes from your post, and despite all of these excuses and reasons and justifications, you begin. That's number one. You begin. You see, most of the time, people have this very twisted mentality of, oh, but Peng Joon, I don't have any following. I don't have any followers on these platforms. And that's something that I just don't even understand. Like, do you think when Lady Gaga wanted to create her first single, she said, oh, but I shouldn't be creating my first song because I don't have any followers online, because I don't have any fans? Right? That doesn't even make sense. You would create, and as a result of that creation, that's how you start building a following. You don't wait for the following to drop down from the sky and then start creating. Right? You start by making the conscious decision of, you know what, I'm going to start this journey of traffic generation by being consistent despite how I feel about it. How I feel about my voice, my face, my trolls, my haters, the fact that people will judge me, I'm going to begin anyway. That's how you begin. And how you continue is by being consistent. Now, I don't want to make this sound like some rah-rah mindset thing, but that's what it is. This is not a strategic thing. How do you start? By getting free traffic. You start by making the decision that no matter what, how you feel, your thoughts, your decision, your mood, your feeling, you're going to start creating content consistently and improving along the way. You take a look at every single top content creator out there. You take a look at the top 100, the first 10, 100 videos, they all sucked. In fact, I don't think I have ever maybe even released this before. But let me show you something that even in YouTube, I don't think I've shown this. Perhaps I might do this in a future YouTube video. But let me show you guys something, okay? Since we are on this topic. Insane. Okay, let me show you how it looks like. What do I mean by deciding to start? Here's what I mean. I'm going to go into my YouTube channel right now, and I am going to show you how off I was when I started this game. Okay, take a look at this, okay? When I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. I had like literally, when I can't even remember this, but I was literally, in 2012, I was in a casino, and I thought it would be funny to create a video that says automatic gambling profits, and I shot this video and I put it up on YouTube, okay? And there was no strategy, it was just doing random things. But let me show you my first video ever. And it's going to be super cringy because this is like 8 years ago, okay? Now, first of all, this video had no thumbnail, didn't know what I was doing. Look like an idiot here. This camera looks like was some super 2 megapixel phone Okay, 6 views in 2012. Okay, here's what it looked like. Hi Lina, so it's 4:15 in the morning here in Malaysia right now, and I really want to sleep, but I know I promised you that video, so let's do this. This is where I work in Malaysia, and that's my workstation. So first of all, let me just share with you some context to this video. It was actually talking to my friend, and she wanted me to practice doing a very simple speech, so I shot her this video. Somehow I called it introduction, and man, even looking at this right now, it's cringy, and I'm not sure what happens, but let's take a look. So let me give you a tour of where I work. So this is where I chill out and brainstorm ideas with friends. Okay, yeah, I think this is a good spot to film the presentation. So first of all, okay, notice how I didn't come from the angle of, oh, but I don't have the perfect camera equipment. Oh, but I don't have a HD camera. Oh, but I don't have, like literally how did I start? I started because I just started. And despite how I felt, despite how stupid I looked, despite not having a script, I did it anyway. Okay, so let's get started. How many of you would like to get paid while you are asleep? Oh, I can't believe this. Okay, so look how cringy this is, right? Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, I was just doing this because I was practicing. Okay, but that's what I wanted you guys to see. All of you, okay, for those of you that's on YouTube right now, chances are you watch my YouTube videos where today, it's a little bit more polished, right? Today, I don't need a script. Today, I can speak off the cuff. Today, I can shoot videos just like that. But that's not how I started off. I started off the same way how any of you would want to start off. Not having the confidence, not having professional equipment, not having a mic, not knowing what to say, looking like an idiot, embarrassing myself, getting 6 views on that video, but guess what? Doing it anyway. That's how you begin. Guys, let me know in the comments. Jim says the iconic hand raise is still living till this very day, right? Exactly. Okay. Guys, let me know in the chat. Just from watching this video, what you learned, how you feel, and how can you actually apply this? Okay. Oscar says, love it, brother. Believer says, hey Peng Joon, what is the cost per result and how is that calculated in Facebook ads? Okay. The way you calculate the cost per sale is by having these few things installed. Number 1, you need to have a Facebook pixel installed. And number 2, you need to have this thing called the conversion tracking code installed. And the way to do these things is explained on this one video over here. And that one video, all you need to do is go to YouTube and type in Facebook ads Peng Joon, and there's this one video that says, let me just go to YouTube, people multiplied by 497 is 11,431. And the only video that you need to watch really to do what it is that I just mentioned to calculate cost per sale is to look for this one video that says Facebook ads tutorial, as well as watch the entire YouTube Facebook playlist when it comes to objectives and the tactical stuff and the copy and the examples and all of that. But if you want to understand how to calculate cost per conversion, watch this 1-hour ad tutorial that goes through all of the basics. Okay, that's how you do it. Piyush says, should I use Facebook Pixel my blogs? You should use Facebook Pixels on every single page that you build up, whether it's your funnel, whether it's your blog, whether it's your website, you should always have a Facebook Pixel installed. Sanjay says, which is the best for Facebook ads? Conversion, lead gen, awareness. Okay. So same thing here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you to this one. Guys, here's the thing about your questions, okay? Take a look at this. There's this one video here released a month ago that says the only Facebook ads campaign objectives that you should be using in 2020. Go watch that video and you'll see the objectives that you need to be focusing on depending on what it is that you want to do. So if you want to get good at Facebook, just binge watch the entire Facebook list because they're all here, the playlist, okay? Guys, understand, the thing that I'm trying to get all of you guys to see, whether you're on Zoom or whether on YouTube, is that tactical stuff is found on YouTube, right? Just think about that for a second. Learning how to set up a pixel or conversion setting, all of that, that's from a YouTube video. The tactical stuff is on YouTube. It's on, I've put it up over here, okay? Go and watch that. Okay, I think we have gone for like 2 hours, and let me just take a look at the Zoom call again. I just want to make sure that there are no other questions on Zoom because you guys on Zoom here are priority. Any other questions? Nope, no other hand raises. Okay, so Rodell says, I want to create something equally cringy. I'm just going to do it. Okay, good. Okay, so guys, first of all, if you enjoyed this kind of Q&A, this is kind of like the first time I'm doing this on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you guys can do me a favor, go and smash the like button on this YouTube video as well. It does help the algorithm out a little bit. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway is, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified whenever we do future live videos and Q&As just like this one, okay? For all of you that is actually on the call, I want to thank all of you for sacrificing your dinner, your night, and spending the last 2 hours with me. Now it comes down to implementation, okay? Chunk it down, bite-sized pieces, and for those of you who asked, you know, when is the next Q&A, says Bhavesh, you'll need to subscribe to the channel so that you'll get notified whenever we do a Q&A just like this one, okay? And for those of you who want to work with me or my team personally, you can apply, and I think some of you might have seen it before. It's just, for those of you who asked, it's just pengjoon.com/application. Okay, if you want to be able to coach with me and to join my events or speak to somebody from my team so that we can understand where you're at and see if we can help you accelerate and get faster results by working together with us, you can do so by going to pengjoon.com/application so that somebody from my team can speak with you and walk you through what needs to be done to see if we are the right fit to work with each other. Okay? And I think that's pretty much it. Okay? So, guys, I want to thank all of you for being here, being on Zoom, being on YouTube, and just kind of like hanging out with me. Now it really just comes down to implementation. Okay, guys, I appreciate you all, and I am serious about your successes, and I will prove it through my actions. Thank you all so much, and hopefully our paths will cross again soon in perhaps next Q&A. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you guys there. Okay. For those of you that's on Zoom, let's all let it go together. You know how the drill works. Hands up in the air. Here we go. 1, 2, and whoosh. Guys, thank you all so much. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you, YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next live session. Thank you all. Appreciate you guys.